Hiya guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to a modern magazine thing. Because this time I'd like to present this, Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer, issue number 30. Now I've said in previous videos, this isn't something I plan to pick up, but I keep finding it in my local shop, some 100 yards from my house, the place I tend to go for bread and milk every few days. And this time I went in, and I had a look at the magazine section, didn't see it. But then caught out of the side of my eye that they put it in with the kids' magazines. Hiding behind some Thomas the Tank Engine comic books was Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer. So I don't know whether they're putting it in this odd place and the person who has subscribed to it or reserved it comes in and can't find it. But I've picked up a few issues lately, and when they're that convenient, when they're that close to my house, I am going to pick them up. But this seems like quite an interesting one. So let's go over to the desktop and have a wee look at Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer issue number 30. So, this is Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer issue number 30. Now I'll get rid of the bag as usual because it's very reflective. And we've got the magazine this time, no extra bits, although it does feel slightly heavier than usual. And we've got a dice. This time it's a very chunky D8. It feels a little light for its size, but it's nice, it's readable. It's really weird again that the sides don't add up. Basically, to me, the size of a dice should always add up to 1 over the size of the dice. So the 1 and the 8 should be opposite each other, the 7 and the 2. But on this one, we've got 7 and 4, 11. 5 and 2, 7. What? 1 and 6, 7. Well, we've got 8 and 3, 11. The sides don't add up properly. If you look at an ordinary dice, they always add up to 1 more than the dice size, because the lowest number and the highest number are opposite, and so on and so forth through the numbers. But these ones are the first ones I've seen which are odd. Also get a fairly nice little velvety bag. It feels quite nice. Nice silky drawstring. Matches the colour of the dice. There's not much else you can say about that. I'll put it up here. Now the magazine itself. Well, plunging inside, we've got Chases, Part 1, The Thrill of the Chase. Now I have to compliment this. They have detailed, they've put 3 segments together all about chases, and these are absolutely brilliant. So we've got Thrill of the Chase, why you'd want to chase, and we have a layout. Determine the participants, roll initiative, determine starting distance, begin the chase. On your turn, other actions than dashing. So you can be casting spells, you can be trying to grab people, etc. Checking for escape, quit or continue. It's a nice layout of the cycle of a chase. But that's not where they ended. They've got Chases Part 2, Complications. Now this is very, very close to what I do with chases. I published a booklet on DrivethruRPG detailing out how I handle chases. But we've got Wilderness Chase Complications. Your path takes you through a rough patch of brush. Make a DC 10 Strength, Athletics, or Dexterity Acrobatics check to get past the brush. Uneven ground threatens to slow your progress. You run through a swarm of insects. There's different complications, things to keep the chase interesting. Now, I tend to write my chases up for an adventure ahead of time. So if you're chasing through a town square, I might have some people carrying boxes come out of a side street and you have to skirmish around them. Some kids are playing jump rope and you have to jump over the rope. Or whatever, the person hides in a crowd and you have to locate them. Just different things to stop it just being continual speed checks. But there's urban chase details, there's the swarm of insects and their actions. Very nice indeed. But they don't even end it there. We've got Chases Part 3 wrapping up the chase. So mapping chases, designing new chase tables, splitting up the chase, reversing the roles. Chasing just isn't running. Very nice stuff indeed. 6 pages on chases. Absolutely brilliant. I am very, very impressed with that. We've got downtime activities, which doesn't really seem that much to me. It's just 2 pages. Rivals, crime, pit fighting. This isn't downtime thing that I would consider. I would put in a lot more stuff about routine things, where players have to get on with ordinary things. But the rest of the book, the magazine, is bardic colleges. So we've got the College of Swords, which always strike me as very much like the sword masters in Earthdawn. People who use insults and fancy language to distract during sword fights. And we've got things here, the blade flourishes, defensive, slashing flourish, mobile flourish. The College of Law, people who use language rather than song. Although they've got a very ordinary picture of a bard there. Cutting words, role-playing opportunities. The College of Whispers, with their words of terror and psychic blades. And then the encounter in this one, which uses the rest, the Depths of Cressilac. Well, for the first time, obviously I'm not getting every issue, we seem to be jumping into connected ones. Cruising on the back of the Wave Mother's Mercy, the party continues its quest to retrieve the Cloven Scepter, a powerful evil relic sought by the Cult of Orcus. Well, I've missed the first part of this, so we're jumping into the second part of a longer adventure, which is something I've been asking for them to do, so I'm not going to criticise that at all. The encounter itself is fairly straightforward. They're going into the sea, and you're leading a chase basically through the water. So there's Cressilac chase, underwater chase complications, navigating sea caves, the sea caves themselves. There's no map for them, but we're going to be doing some random events, accidentally touch poisonous coral or fish. The currents pick up sand, and you have to make a saving throw or be blinded. A hunter shark enters the chase and pursues you. And we've got the stats for the hunter shark, although no image, unless this, which looks like a Sahagwin, is the hunter shark. I'm not quite sure. There's not a lot of details. I think they're just the Sahagwin. They didn't have any pictures of a shark. And the Sahagwin Coral Smasher. So, while the magazine is quite short, as usual, there's a bunch of stuff on the bards, which is fairly nice, fairly useful. As your character's getting up in level, they're going to be going out to the different houses and subclassing. The adventure, well, it's not much, but it uses the chase rules, which are very nicely included in here. 6 pages, excellent stuff. The adventure itself, fairly simple. You've got the chase, but at least it's the second part. Or maybe third, I don't know how many parts I've skipped. But we're now getting multi-part adventures, which are building into something more. I actually really like this issue. It's still very, very expensive, $8.99 for a very short magazine and a chunky D8. One of the less useful dice, but it's quite nice. So once again, it's up to you whether you think it's worth the value. I would think probably not, but it's too late, I've bought it. So that was Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer issue number 30, and I really like the chase rules in it. Now I have to admit, I don't actually have a 5th edition Dungeon Master's Guide, so I don't know whether they were just copying sections out of that. But it's nice to see that, independently, I came up with very similar ways of doing chases, and I even learnt some stuff out of this issue. Some excellent stuff in there. It's also nice to see the adventures are now starting to link together to a longer storyline. I would have liked them to have done that from the start, to have a building cast of NPCs and places you would visit, so you could be building your campaign issue by issue, but it's finally nice to see them getting around to it in issue 30. Still not sure if it's worth the money. It is quite a nice dice on the cover, the magazine's got some interesting stuff, but for £9 for that issue, it is still very, very pricey, a bit rich for my blood. But anyway, I think I've been wittering on for quite long enough as usual, so thank you very much for watching. But as always, most of all, you look after yourselves. And I'll catch you later. Bye now.